C0ff33. We are back. All right, let's see what's happening here. 4.6, huh? All right, got some goods to snag. Thank you, Windows. Okay, change something in my my settings. 1 second. I'm gonna look at Windows. Screwed around with my see what's going on here. All right. Okay. Yeah, we should get some sounds now. Greets and well wishes, '07 to the Blackwater Coat. '07. Windows is at it again, man. It's doing something with my sound here. Oh gosh. right. The new T pose in game now. All right. Let's see here. I gotta figure out on the fly why I'm not receiving any sound. Are you serious? Processing? Wait a minute. Something's not right. That material should have been done. Is this a bug? It's apparently this is a bug. Because when I finished, it said it would see one completed work order is waiting for you. Processing. See, that's not right. Prospector. Okay. Time remaining. This is broken. Stop collect. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it be. I'm going to leave it be. Wow, that's weird. That's a bug. Getting a lot of flickering here too. Hold on, let me I'm going to check and see what's going on with the audio here on my computer. I think Windows did a number on me again. It did update though. It did go through an update. Okay, let's see here. Input. Trying to figure why is my sound just dead and it shouldn't be. I'm gonna get it figured out. Let's see. Oh, let me see here. Here we go. That might do it. Look at the video card. Audio, man. Audio. Odd. Seems like everything is Matrix dance. Okay, so let me getting some weird stuff going on here. Okay, that should have. I think what I'm going to do is stop the game and restart, and just hope that that is the issue where it comes back on. It's not acknowledging that I have everything set right. It's weird. Audio, man. Thank you, Windows. Okay, 1 second. Audio. An audio test here. There we go.
Get tax expert.
About damn time. Man, audio is a pain in the ass. Okay, that's what it did. I got it to go. Yeah, you can hear all of that now. All of that boodaloo goodness. There we go. Now I can stifle that now. Okay, we're back. back on track. As a matter of fact. Sheesh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go now. Boom. Back in. All right. So let's get some resource management going, right? Resource management. Industrial style. Da 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 dee. Da 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 da. Da da dee 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 dee. Okay, 4.6. What can I say? It's there. Nothing really stands out. I mean, like, nothing really pops that says, oh, this is really exciting. I think the lamp technology is useful. It's very, very useful. We have those spots of as you travel, if you're you go to a system and you kind of orbit, you end up on the dark side of the moon or that particular planet. It's dark. I mean, dark. And that lamp is welcome. It's a welcome addition. It solves two problems too. That one that CIG was kind of challenged with. You know, the floodlights in your ship. That, you know, you have instances of it's really, really bright. Then instances of not really bright enough. With the lamp technology, you don't get the invasive, like very, very bright lights, floodlights from other ships when you're looking at the ship. So this kind of neutralizes that issue, but at the same time, your ship, as you fly your ship, you can see things a lot better now. And I like the little style of each manufacturer have their colors or lens, particular lens according to that manufacturer style. I like that. That's a nice touch. But outside of that, I think I would just have to look at the road, you know, the patch update to kind of say I need to get excited about it, about the patch. But I think overall it's just a thing of kind of like CIG's getting back to work. They're getting acclimated, and things are just beginning to start for the year 2026. So I look at 4.6 as it's more or less like a staging or procedural. It's a procedural thing that, hey, they're back and they're just getting things in line. I think that's what it feels like to me with this patch. Okay, let me look at this. Elf Lifeline. It's the atypical mission, right? It's not so distinct from other missions as much, right? But they're bringing in the Melina virus. You know, pick up said items, do these said things. Collaboration is involved. So it's kind of there's similarities of previous missions. There's similarities there. And I think that's a purpose thing until I think when we get more of the major foundational pieces, then I think they can get, or they will have the ability to be a little more creative and bring us variations to the missions. I would hope so. I would hope so. Let me put on my helmet, dude. Gotta zoom out this guy. Let me see. Put on my helmet. Oh, I forgot my glasses. Need my glasses, man. Need my glasses, man. Yeah, the epidemic. You get rewards for it. I think that's the driver, right? That's the one way to kind of get a certain number of participants in with the rewards. I think that's the main. Is that my hanger? And I'm also noticing these ghosting ships. You see that? I think there's some foundational things that they're gonna bring in, so we don't need to see this, but it's not there. It's not really there. See, it's not really there. I call it ghosting. Let's look at the roadmap to remind myself. What is the features? What are the features? Yeah, lamp, cockpit light amplification, Kelter ship supply kiosk. Okay. Clearing the air. That's released. Implementing a system-wide crisis on Levski built around the Molina mold outbreak, sending players across Nix and Stanton or hauling, courier resource gathering, kill ship, recover cargo, station escort, and defend ship missions. It's rehashed. I'm sorry, but not sorry. It's a rehashing. New resource gathering missions is committed to getting that release. The rock cracker, as they call it. You know, you see the ghosting that's going on, but it's not really there. It's annoyance, but yeah. Implementing an expanded list of missions to our resource gathering archetype. Find, gather, and deliver raw or refined mineable ores or salvageable ship pieces for a variety of corporations scheduled to come in a 4.6.x patch. I would imagine the new ship or the new salvage ship as well should be arriving with that mechanic, I guess. Because they're talking about mineable ores or salvageable ship pieces. The Aurora Gold Standard update, I think that's pretty cool. Hermes, I was a little. I looked at the ship and said, well, yeah, it found the place and the purpose. It definitely put shame to the Andromeda series in regards to like the Taurus, but it has its own flavor. But yeah, I think for haulers, cargo runners, I think the Hermes has found a place for them with the reinforced hull as well as the speed of that ship for its size. And then you just have weapons and items. FPS weapons art refactor, updating visual material and texture for the following weapons and equipments: the Bearing P4, FS9, okay, P6 LR, Grey Cat Max Lift Tractor Beam, Cambio SRT, Cure Life Pyramid Medical Device, and the Ripper SMG. Okay, so some aesthetics as far as weapons and utility items. Ground vehicles, the missiles implementing ground vehicle only missile variants available to the Cyclone anti-aircraft and what is this? The MT Nova Storm, Storm AA and anti-aircraft and ballista with improved tuning to make atmospheric anti-air threats more dangerous. It's released. And then the MXOX neutron cannon size 3, implementing a new weapon to Arena Commander, giving players a chance to test it ahead of its future release on live service in a future update, which presumably is the 4.6.x. So yeah, I think if this is all that's to this, I would want to say it's probably on purpose so that they can kind of continue to stabilize the existing patch, right? I think that would be the purpose for this patch. That it doesn't have a lot involved. I think there was a lot of bug fixing involved. So I think this is a staging point to allow them to bring in the foundational pieces with this patch, and then just them getting back to work and getting back on track. I think it's a balance of what this patch is and with what they have to do as far as things to do for this year. Who knows? There could be having them available, developers available to help out with Squadron 42 as they are testing right now to ensure that it's right. So that could be there's probably a couple of reasons or more as to, you look at the content of 4.6 and saying, well, yeah, they're just getting back and they're also preparing for Squadron 42's release. So it's easy. It's better to have them potentially almost freed up to be available for whatever needs to be done for Squadron 42. So no need to be alarmed or panicked, everyone. It's just part of the process. But, it opens the door for them to still bring in more things that are in wait that's got to come online. And it may very well end up being a very good patch based upon 4.6.x and what's available or what's ready by that time. So they probably need a little more time with some major or items to be introduced later on. So no, don't panic, because it's just the first freaking month of the year, man. And that's going away tomorrow. We're going to be in February tomorrow. So there you go. No panic. But I do want to see some traction on the flight model. I was listening to a recent video, the one that was, I think, they were doing a CitizenCon all video presentation. I think if you look back, it was the Asiato comm station. That was the one with Chris and Richard Tyrer were having a discussion. And they were showing the demo of the hand walking. We're still waiting on that, the hand walking feature. And Chris mentioned some things with the flight model where I think that's basically what, the current flight model that we have. In his conversation, he described it perfectly to the navigation mode and the SCM mode. So it's that's what Chris wanted. And I think, Yogi and the flight model group, they get a lot of criticism, and it's not criticism, but feedback. They get the feedback. That's their job, right? That's what the community is supposed to do. It's just, it's. I saw that video and I said to myself, "Whoa, that's coming from Chris directly, right? Because he wants." He's like, let's go into these modes of flight, and you change that layer of how your ship performs, and it was like, whoa, that came directly from Chris. That's Chris's baby. Ooh, I gotta take this, man. That's all Quantanium. You better believe I'm taking this. And so it's like, okay, but you know, they're trying to do something a little different, and hopefully it sticks. And no, it's not. It's not up to the standard of what the game is trying to be. I think the flight model, it needs some love. It needs some help. So yeah, I think I watched Avenger One's video, and he made a point about man, it was almost comical how a couple of ships can take out an Idris, man. If you know what you're doing, you can literally take out an Idris. And so how do you reconcile that into a balance? And I don't know. I think that's kind of hard to do, because it made me think about, okay, it shouldn't be two single-seated ships taking out an Idris an hour or so. He described that it takes about an hour, and you can pretty much take out that size of ship. And I just said to myself, that shouldn't be, and that's not balanced. That's kind of broken. Broken. It's not a kind of. It's broken. And it made me think of the approach and the development approach is it's numbers, right? But then there's it's got to be scenarios that has to play into the programming as well. So you're saying, okay, it shouldn't be possible for two smaller ships or single-seated ships to take out an Idris if you have it crewed fully. So it made me think about, okay, there's got to be a certain number of ships that will challenge the Idris. Like, if they're single-seated ships, what is the threshold of how many ships you should have? And I was just thinking of it as scenarios, or a play out of how it should be or how it should play out. And so I'm thinking, okay, if you have 10 to 12 single-seated ships and you're scoring hits at a constant rate consistently, it should challenge, or it should wear down slowly, at least slowly wear down an Idris, where you have to be attentive to what's going on. But in the same sentence, looking through the lens of an Idris, and you have like 12 single-seated pilots you're going against, if you score 2 hits with a turret from the Idris, that should be game over for the single-seated ships. That's just my opinion, or my scenario of how it should play out. 2 hits or 2.5 hits, game over for that ship, because they should be powerful enough, because it's a capital ship or quasi-capital ship, to engage those smaller ships and say, boom, boom, you're done. 2.5, you're done. And then work your way down. The risk and reward. I think he mentioned something a while back about you get in closer, you can score hits, but there's a risk factor. And so that kind of scenario played out in my mind of, if you're taking on a certain number, then yeah, it should be a contested battle between those ships and the capital ship, which is an Idris. But yeah, no way. 2 small ships, and it takes out a large ship like that. That's a major flaw. But I suspect that what's happening, I think the Maelstrom system will also lend to be, I think it will be leverage for that scenario to play out when you're talking about a hardening of the hull based on the accurate numbers that the density of hulls, the crafting, it should play a part in how you approach or how you should stay away from capital ships. Because that was a good one. Because we don't have that game, we don't have that cornerstone of a feature right now, then they're not gonna. Why try to fix something out of haste, out of objective feedback, opinionated feedback, criticism, harsh criticism. There's no point in trying to make something right until you have everything available at your disposal to correct it. So I kind of see both sides of it if that is the case, but the communication part of it is not echoed just yet. But when you look at what they mentioned as far as the features and gameplay mechanics and what they will kind of take over from the devs having to handcraft, like hull densities. I read that where the Maelstrom system will be right out the box accurate, but then I can hear people saying, yeah. CRG said these things about development, and does it ever go right? Does it go 100% all the time? No. But yeah, I think that's something to wait and see in regards to how that will handle the concept of the Maelstrom system, that it can take into account the weight of the hull. I think crafting will play into it as far as like the densities that you work with, experiment with, that it'll make your ship a thicker, more less prone to rupture or break because of the different types of metals you can probably synthesize. But at the detriment of fuel consumption, speed, lack of speed, the physics aspects will tie into that, right? So we'll see. That would make sense. But I'm just speaking. Take it with a grain of salt, but keep your eyes on these things, because if it doesn't fit into if it doesn't give you clarity on how the function should work, then there's going to be people don't want to do it, or there's going to be pushback where they're not happy with it. So I'm wishing them all the luck as far as the skill, the insight, and what needs to be done to make it right. I'm wishing them all the best on that. That's the flight model team, Chris himself too, that we get it right so that we can kind of move forward and just say, this is how the ship works. It's doing what it's supposed to do. We can incorporate the crafting aspects into it as well, and we're good, and we can move on. How is the update? I think it's fair. I think on my end, it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. But that's just a sample size. It's always going to be my opinion compared to what your system is based on and how it plays. But overall, I'm not granted, we had the inventory issue. They kind of turned it around. It didn't take too long to get that remedied. They didn't make an announcement. I went to the inventory system a couple of times, didn't see my inventory, so I went flying around to get my default armor and stuff. And lo and behold, I go to the inventory system to my homestead, or where I spawned from, and there it was. No major announcement. Maybe they did announce it, I didn't see it, but they ended up getting it corrected. So now, is it everything? I don't know. I think I'm looking, for the most part, looking at the inventory system. For the most part, it seems to be there. But I'm getting some flickering. I noticed some flickering on the UI, like it's at the hanger and those touch panels, whether it's the elevator panel. I was getting some fluctuations, like flickering from there, and I'm seeing some flickering in, like if I had the what do you call it, the launch window up, it was happening just now. I had to minimize it so it wouldn't flicker. Maybe that's something that's on me, right? I don't know. That could be on me. That you have to minimize the launcher screen. But yeah, I was getting some flickering. But they did fix the smooth motion in NVIDIA, which helps with FPS. That helps a lot. But yeah, not too bad. I have not really traveled around, so I'm sure, based on what I'm seeing, it's going to be totally night and day from another person's perspective. It's like, I think Star Citizen is kind of like that. They're trying to get it to, oh shit, we're trying to get that console gameplay mechanic. Everybody has an Xbox concept. You turn it on and it's the same experience for everyone. But that's the PC. That's why we have that debate with what's better, console or PC. It's like, okay, do you have a high end rig, or is it now the new expression? Is it potato? I'll call it. Hey, if you had your computer for over 5 or 6 years, then you're not going to get top of the line graphics and FPS, right? So it's always a mixed bag when you come to the realm of PC. Personal. Emphasize that with PC, it's personal computer. It's personal with everyone. There's so many variations. So that's a hard thing, or a hard task for CIG to capture, to try to ensure that everybody's experience for the most part is generically the same. They'll never find that sweet spot in that sense of it being the personal computer experience. If everyone had a 5090, 128 gigs, 4 terabyte SSD, all that crap, if they had it, 9800 or 9850 X3D, if they had all of that, then yeah, there's a consensus on how it plays. Dude, I didn't ask you for all that. I'm just asking, how is the game? How is it? Not too bad. I have not done the missions. Right. Oh shit. There we go. We got my little warning there. Tighten it up, baby. Come on, doors. Let's go. The damn Quantanium ain't gonna take too long, and you gotta ease it down on your landing. Don't upset it, because it's getting a little itchy. Come on, get out of that damn seat, man. Let's rock and roll, baby. Let's rock and roll. I remember back in the day, you had like 15 minutes. I'm gonna tuck it in the ground so it can calm down. Losing integrity. Oh crap! I'm running my behind in heavy armor. Welcome to the Lev Love.
Welcome to your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility.
Oh, did it? I don't think that's automatic. Okay, it says claim on pad. What the hell's going on? Wait a minute. See, that's odd. Dude, that is odd. Did it kind of tuck itself away?
Please visit us again.
Yeah. Okay, could that be something new? Or is that buggy? I think that's buggy. There's another bug. Your ship will automatically tuck itself away. And then it says claim. I got to go and see if I have the cargo on there. So I got to go to customs and go down to, not room, but floor 3, the basement. Yeah, so I'm not going to get too uptight. I'm not going to get uptight about this patch. I think, like I said before, it's just preliminary, them getting back and leaving the door open for other major things when it gets ready. I kind of feel as though they they're on the cusp of dropping something major, so they want to keep other things out. So when it comes to that, maybe something like the Genesis system, or uh, I'm not going to say dynamic meshing, but something foundational. Starchitect, I don't know. It opens the door, leaves it open for that opportunity to drop a major update between now 4.6.x and 4.7.
Stand clear of disembarking passengers.
If not, then going into this year, there's going to be a lot to be, a lot of expectations and a lot to be crammed down into that second and third, fourth quarter, and they're going by monthly now with their updates. So it's not a monthly patch, but there's some 4.6. They're not 4.6, but there's a .x, I think, in between that play of monthly patches. So we're gonna see how it plays out because this is new. Let's not predict. I don't want to predict too hard on how deliverable is gonna happen. But they said every other month. But my guess or my opinion on it is, if something's ready, they'll exit in a minute, and if it's feasible, they'll probably drop something in between the major patch. But they did say those next patch every other month you're gonna get major items, as opposed to the monthly. When you compare the two, it won't be a comparison. It'll be more of, hey, they're dropping a lot more in each patch. That thing might be. This is the first time I've seen this with this refinery mechanic. There's that Quantanium though. Hold on. Let me check. Let me get my process first. Was it? I want to say Dynex solventation, low speed. No, they changed Dynex solventation. It's different now. Which one was it? It's a very slow process. Let me see if I remember. Pyrometric chromolysis. Yeah, very low speed, low cost, high yield. It's a variation on the Dynex solventation. With this one, the difference between the two, with the pyrometric, the only deviation from what was the original Dynex solventation, they're doing a very low speed. Dynex had low speed, low cost, high yield, but they've altered it. So this is my go-to now, especially with the high-end minerals. And it looks like this is a little bugged, or I don't know what's going on, man. I think I see these little flickers underneath. I don't know what's going on. So let me try this again. The UI isn't really clean. It's this flickering stuff. I don't know. Is it me? I don't know. Could be something I'm doing to cause it. I don't know.
Safety notice. Please follow designated routes and refrain
Okay,
from
pyrometric. That's okay. Just by going to another screen, it kind of cleared up. Now, what you're gonna see this bit of inert material that you cannot process because it's no good. It's junk, but it will remain in your container for mining. So you get your quote, 1 hour, 8 minutes, right? It used to be like 24 hours, man, for the Dynex solventation. It used to be this. This is the new Dynex solventation. But see, that was okay. Now it's yeah. This is the old one. It's something. It may be broken. I may want to stop and collect it. I probably will. I don't care, man. I'm gonna stop and get this off the thing. Get it out of there because it's broken. It's not counting or doing anything. So I'm gonna get rid of it. So this is processing, right? Now I mentioned to you about the inert material. Okay, I just back out. Hell, yeah, it won't let me. That's another bug. It won't allow me to close out the UI. So that inert material I had left over, you have to come over to the ore sales. Select use, select the location, then it goes through all the ships. Does it have to do that? Can it just recognize the ships that you used for mining? Or that you have minables in? I wonder. So it's not that one, it's the second one. Okay, inert material is right there. And then you go over here, unrefined material value is 27. Sell to the most important thing about, it's not what you're making off of it. It's pennies. You are clearing it out of the containers on your ship. You don't want this stuff to pile up and take space on valuable ore. So you're removing, it's a two-step of you get credit for what's there, but you're also removing it out of the container. All right, so I kind of like this arrangement, how you just walk in and the stations are there to interact with. So I'm going upstairs. Oh no, that was out I gotta go back this way. I keep getting mixed up. Here's the elevators, because I didn't see the timer. Just in time. 0. Yeah, it looks like we got some desync going on too because it's zeroed out. It should be here. So there's some lag going on too. So some optimization is needed for sure. You can see that. Here we go. Yeah, it's some lag happening. And there's another bug. If I was in my hangar, okay, I'm at the top. That's the access to the surface, zero gravity surface. Okay, this one, yeah, this is back to the hangar. I'm gonna see if I can offload. I think I moved the stuff onto my hangar. So let me call a ship that will carry some of that stuff.
Welcome to the C0ff vehicle retrieval system.
Get it. See if it's broken or not. What's the ship that can carry it? Still got the Connie. Star Runner 114 and the 96 for the Andromeda. Holy smokes. Yeah, I think the Andromeda is going to go through a Mark II phase as well. She's going to be much bigger. Much bigger. Probably going to be a little bigger than the, what is it, the Hermes.
Vehicle selected.
I can see that happening.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the Please visit us.
So let me get the Crusader ship. There's Star Runner.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
All right, let's see what's happening here. Yeah, I think we're all chomping at the bit for them to, and I think it was, for me, they know that the new features are due. Those new features are overdue. And we're looking at that roadmap, and it's just like, you're like, man, I thought that Genesis was going to be on that bad boy. And nope. We're like, stop playing with me, man. Put the new stuff on that map. I think it's more of a build up some anxiety and excitement. I don't know. Or it may not be ready. But it feels like it could be either one. But it also could be those things that I mentioned earlier too. All right, I'm gonna drop this down. Load it on the ship. Let's see about that. See if the goods are there. Yep, Agricium. Slide it over. Yeah, a lot of Agricium. Lindenium. That's some of the new elements there. That's exclusive to Levski. Taurite is another one. I think the Lindenium has more value though. All right, so I think I am good, man. I might have some food on my. It's another area that I frequent. I think I left food items. It might have been wiped. I don't know. It should be there in my hangar. I'm gonna find out. Oh, okay. Raise the roof. There she is. And let me try my weapons. Okay, the weapons are working in the hangar now. That's good. At one point they were not. Okay, so let's get back to sell these goods, man. Yep. Yeah, I think they did a hell of a job with the Hermes. I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh man, another cargo running ship. But that's your backbone of the economy, truth be told. And then when I looked at how it was designed and its layout and the functional tractor beam, I couldn't be upset. I looked at it and says, well, it has found its place in the game. And of course, you're looking on day one of the patch, people are flying it and utilizing it. So it was a hit. Right, and I think if there's someone who's, you would say their jam is this. There's quite a few people who loves that hauling life, man, that cargo life. They want that hauling life, and it fits the bill, and they'll do it in any ship that will say it is a cargo ship. It's about the variety and how you want to rep your cargo. And I think the other thing that was, another value asset to the Hermes is the fact that the hull is reinforced. The hull is the structure of the hull is a tough nut to crack, but also it hence the Greek name Hermes, the messenger of the gods, right? It's fast, but it also has some firepower that will make you kind of blink. Oh shit! Did I kill myself? I almost did, man. Handle with care, bro. My gosh, man. Yeah, that aspect of it's in the name, right? Hermes, and the aspect of the Apollo with the reinforced hull and its size. What's the cargo capacity is what 200 or so. That's pretty stout, and it's empty back there. It's a nice thing, man. It's a nice thing. Yeah, if you're mega cargo and that's your calling in this game, then you're gonna be happy with the ship. I think that medium-sized salvage ship. It's got a lot of people's names. A lot of people's names are tied to that ship, man. I mean, that's gonna be a super popular ship for the industrialist type player. Being able to salvage, and you got a lot of that going on. You can do multi-crew with it, and really, with the advent of we're getting closer to base building, and we're getting the crafting. That screams immense value for that ship. Where some people love the big ships, and then you have people that not so in regards to these bigger ships. To kind of like operate on a smaller scale to be more efficient. I think that screams variety right there, and people would want that type of ship where the more people, the merrier with some. The less people will see it as, hey, we're a lot more efficient this way, right? A smaller crew, we get in, get out. It's a well-oiled machine, tight ship. Let's go. We'll see. I'm not sure about the sizing of that ship, but it's supposedly it's between the Vulture, and now you got to say the Vulture, Misfortune, and the Reclaimer, right? It's gonna fit between those three. I'm sorry, but yeah, I say two is like the starter point, and then you have the full scale salvage mechanic with the Reclaimer. She's a lot of shit. That's a lot of shit. But yeah, I love that it screams, this new ship is going to scream efficiency by being a medium-sized ship. Have a small group. Everyone has something to do, and with the advent of base building and especially crafting coming online, resources all day, acquiring resources all day with that ship. A lot of value. I think there's a lot of pressure. I think of this too. This may not be the case, but there's a lot of pressure on the mission making team, and I think the best way to help alleviate and give them that space to be more creative and come up with very unique ideas, the one factor that can help them is adding or bringing in the more foundational mechanics, more of the foundational things that is going to be into Star Citizen: the crafting, the base building, the refining of materials, refining them to make them better, upgrading them and things of that nature. The blueprints, that takes a lot off of the mission creation team, because while you're grinding, people won't be doing missions unless it's something to do with they want to loot and find rare blueprint items. It feeds itself. The mission giver will kind of like it's low hanging fruit right there, where you can kind of build a fortress around rare blueprints or do Tomb Raider styled gameplay mechanics, because we're getting Castra. Castra's going to have mountains. You can explore those mountains like Tomb Raider. And I think all it is it's not impossible, because you're looking at the municipal works is coming in. The you go down the lower depths of these facilities, the sewers and things of that nature, the lower pipes of these facilities. You're going to get it first with Levski, and then eventually Area 18 will have its version. I just hope that it's not cut and paste in regards to it's like a skin over, right? But you root the blueprint crafting aspects behind that. People are going to run and chase after it regardless. But you want that variety in there and complexity. The more rare of the blueprint it is, the more complex the mission should be. At some point they'll get there. They'll get there at some point, but they need some. The engine needs some love, man. Ship was designed by Sarah McCullough, man. She's good. She was good, man. She was good. She's no longer with the company, but she's good. She's good, man. Yeah, and I love this paint job. Oh gosh, it's nice. Meridian. Yeah, see, this has got to go away. These fluctuations, this flickering. I don't know if I need to erase my shaders. I'm gonna do that next time I jump in the game. I'll do that once I'm done. You see this ghosting? I call it ghosting, man. Other people in the hangar. And speaking of Hermes, we were just talking about her. Speak of the devil. Cargo ship, there you go. Okay, that was the other ship hangar. Their doors closing. Yeah, it's a visual bug. It's not game breaking, but you got to be very aware of what's going on, because you would think the door's opening or it's a ghost of the walls, and it's not open. It's closed. See, look, I was hitting the door. Now it's physically opening. But I was wondering, I don't know why I keep thinking about the flight model. Look at it. I think there may be, as far as the development or to hone everything in, I think you have to take a holistic approach right? You got to factor in all ships in its entirety, and then you break down, put them in those categories: fighters, multi-crew, capital ships, and make those categories distinct. But then create thresholds of, you know, a certain number can only attack certain, you know, a certain scale or size of ship, right? I think the single seated ship and the medium sized ship, there's going to be more interaction as opposed to a single seated ship approaching a capital sized ship. You know, you define that and say, okay, that's established. But then what is the threshold? Then you have to create those numbers to say, okay, this number of single seated ships can probably take on, or can in a valid way take on a capital ship, and it's got to be a set number that makes sense. If that number is not fulfilled, you know, then you should not be dwelling in that you should not be challenging that type of ship. It's the scenarios, I think. And you know, let's say 12 ships can, you know, in given time, it should take some time though, but you say effectively, if it's 12 reasonably skilled pilots, it's possible. So then you throw in those variables. What if you have turrets, you know, manned turrets on those ships, and the turret personnel are very good at what they do? Then those numbers dwindle. If they cannot sustain those numbers of 12, and you're kind of like dwindling because you're getting popped. two and a half hits, your pop goes the weasel. Done. And you fall below those numbers, get out of there. It's a failure. It should be a failure in that sense.
Quantum travel engaged.
But if the skill set is there for those pilot ships, single seated pilot ships, the skill set is there along with the customized weapons components, then it can factor in and say, okay, we can chip away at it. But the moment that those numbers drop below that threshold, it's a no-win scenario, because you're going up against a capital ship. So you have to strategize. You need to have maybe those number of ships along with another, like a hammerhead and another ship, to challenge that type of ship. So I think it's situational, and you have to look at it as this is the entire fleet, and you equate that with the military fighter ships, and you look at those scenarios, you put it on the big board and say, these are the scenarios. Now, how can I hardline program behind those scenarios so that they play out correctly? Now, as far as the actual mechanic, the physics behind the ships and what they do, I'm not an expert on that, but it should be baseline, right? It should be a baseline, and lean it towards a little bit of, if you're SEM, it should not be flying like a World War II movie style ship. I think you kind of lean it into a little bit of the Newtonian physics, a little bit. Give it some arcadey balance. It's not, in other words, it's not The Expanse. You don't give it full on Expanse. You give it a little flavor of vanilla of The Expanse, all ships. And then you can use and apply the physics of what's the weight of the ship, what's the hull density. So that plays into a factor. So it's a lot, man. It's not a one and done solution. I think this will be an ongoing thing with the flight model and its scenarios for combat, but there should be a baseline of how you approach it, and you should think of all the scenarios of combinations of how you engage. I would say the art of war, how you engage with these ships. Can't get to the gate. Wait, let's see here. The engagement factor. And those scenarios get to be played out. But you have to hard code it. That stuff. You have to. I wonder how difficult that is to program program it into the. Take the scenarios and program based on those scenarios. It's possible. So the numbers have to be concrete in with that baseline. Like if it's less than 12 fighters, there's not enough or not a constant enough of firepower to effectively start to work on that ship. And then you might even say you have to incorporate missiles in that equation too of fighting a capital ship, not just blasters or the type of high-end blasters with a combination of missiles. But then the scenario changes if you introduce that number of ships, that threshold, and you incorporate other ships, larger ships. Then you factor that in too. It's a tall task, man. It's not easy, but I think until they have all the pieces of the puzzle in their hands in regards to the mechanics, it's always going to be a piecemeal attempt of defining what the flight model will be. And I think that's important. You gotta have you have to have on hand all the physics involved in order to move forward with the flight model properly. And it, to some extent, it might even help it out. You know, it may not have to be super hardcore physics based, right? The Expanse style of flying, you may have, once you get those foundational pieces in that will help it, there can be some arcade aspects to it. But I think it may be something to be said about, you know, bringing in some of the Newtonian physics and not totally eliminating the World War II biplane or the World War II style of flying in space. Don't fully go away with it, but bring in a hybrid of that with the Newtonian physics that you have to correct. And it's not always a you have to constantly, it's a constant push and pull to keep things aligned, especially if you're utilizing your thrusters at a high rate or high clip. You slow it down, you can come back to that style of maneuverability, right? As you set your limiters higher, your thrusters higher, it goes more, and it falls into the realm of Newtonian physics more so. I think maybe there's something there with that conversation. I don't know, that could be part of the solution. That it's the slower you are, the more maneuverable your ship is. But then we're not factoring in the maelstrom system that takes into account of your weight, your hull density. Fuel consumption is going to play into that as well. But I think that might be onto something. I don't know. What do you think? Could that be a possible solution? Is it worthy to throw that kind of idea out to the game ideas on the flight model? Or reach out to CIG? I think it kind of serves it. Chris described it as you hit a button and you do this mode, right? It's 3 buttons or 3 modes that you set that will allow you to go into this certain mode, right? What if it's automated when you apply, the more thrust you apply, the more it falls into the realm of, the more thrust, it falls into truer or closer to Newtonian physics. And when I say Newtonian physics, think of the game Asteroids, where if you push it forward, the ship will continue to move forward until you counter that motion, right? So if you set, let's say you keep the SEM speed, or let's say maneuver mode, MM, as opposed to SCM, space combat maneuverability, you go maneuver mode, MM. It's master mode, right? So or let's say you go into master modes, then you're more flying like the World War II style of ships, but you're moving slow. You're moving slow. It locks it in, and you stay that way. But when you unlock, right, Newtonian mode, NM, you go Newtonian mode, it means, if you're going at a certain threshold, it's going to give you that because your thrusters can counter that weight and balance. But then when you punch it and go like 100%, and maybe even you utilize, your afterburners, then it pushes you into the realm of Newtonian, where you're sliding and things of that nature, right? And then it should be a timetable of like when you throttle back, then the force will diminish some because you're allowing the thrusters to counter that. So it might be something in that where it will kind of engage the person or the pilots with skill to want to do that. I'm excited about that. I don't know. I could be totally bashed by this. I could be that doesn't make any sense. But I wonder.
Quantum fuel, 75%.
I wonder about that. Did I just solve the master? Oh my goodness! Did I just solve master modes? Like, no, you did not. Wait a minute, right? Chris is like, I think he's got something there. I might want to look into that. I kind of like that, Kimmy. I really like that. I'm gonna fly you over to Frankfurt, have a discussion with you. Oh my gosh, that's funny, man. Interesting though. Interesting. Okay, let me queue up the website. You go there. I'm going there, man. I'm freaking going there. Let's see here.
Quantum fuel, 50%.
Thank you for the update. Yeah, I'm gonna punch this up to let me see ideas and see what they.
Quantum travel complete.
I'm opening the doors for players to like bash me. I don't care because I know it's gonna happen. It's just I want to bring something to the table that might get them going in the direction of we're working on that, or no thank you, or I never thought of that, or yeah, we appreciate the input. But I think that may be key. That may be key. Get the spectrum. Okay, let me just get the Arc L1 and refuel a little bit. Get some fuel going. Or not. Let's see. Hold on. Let's try this. May not have to stop. There we go. Don't have to stop. Won't stop. Can't stop.
Quantum travel.
All right, so I'm on the game ideas. All right, here we go. Made it. Alright, heading down.
Shields on.
I'm gonna make sure that when I get back in game, I'm going to clear my shaders, cache, and everything. I'll pick up those artifacts, eliminate me, and make sure it's not on me. But I think that may be the case. Love my Star Runner, man. Love it. It's a daily, man. It is a daily. Got the right capacity, can hold enough, do what it needs to do. Loot and scoop, baby. Let me go ahead and pay the cost to be the boss here. Operating costs is happening. Power it off. Uh-oh. Death by door. Jumping down there, hurting my knees. It's that elevator. Don't you dare give Chris ideas. Oh shit. Woo. Watch it scratching the paint, man. Lindenium. Yeah, I think this fetches a nice penny. sure they're all on the grid, which I think they are. Just double checking. All right. Right. I love watching and seeing the armor combinations. There's so many. I mean, we only have 2 to 3 systems now. Pyro, Stanton, Nyx, 3 systems, and you see all these varieties of armor types. All right, let's see what this is worth.
Hey,
Yeah, so it did save my my inventory here. That's pretty cool. It's still there. Area 18. All right, so let's see what the worth of lindenium. Let's try torite first. So there's 8 of those. There's 3 of the lindenium. Okay, 17K. Just only 8. It's not bad, right? It's not bad. Hold on. 2 units. I have 8 SCU. Okay. Is that the slider? Okay, that's 2 units. Selling it. A little over 17K, right? Not too bad. Now let's look at lindenium. There was 8 SCU. This is 3 SCU, right? Yeah, the UI, I think it's, I don't know if this is lag or something, but it takes a moment. 72K just for 3 SCU. So lindenium is the winner. Yeah, there's something going on with the UI, man. I don't know what it is, or is it me? Okay, confirm. Okay, there we go. Accepted. Laranite, we know that's it is what it is. Agricium. Some would say agricium. Agricium. Quartz. 1 SCU. 1,000. Okay, so. Oh no, this is not my inventory. No, that's the buy. So I don't have that inventory. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let's see. Area 18. No, it did not keep that. Let me see. Area 18. Let's see. Yeah, nothing. Local market value, sellable cargo. Stems out of stock. Astatine, chlorine, fluorine, iodine, gold, tungsten, beryl, waste, revenant tree pollen, borax, copper, bexylite, hephaestonite, atlisium. That's interesting. Terranite, aphrite, comfort, iron, ammonia, argon, carbon, mercury, potassium, ship ammunition, Dynaflex, helium, hydrogen, pressurized ice, silicon, steel, tin, construction materials, methane, nitrogen, omnipoxy, scrap, thermofoam, Zapien, maybe some elements from the alien cultures too. Degnus root, bioplastic, carbon silk, cobalt, diamantium, fresh food, if you say so, recite, diamond limonite, audiovisual equipment, golden medman, heart of the woods, proto, quantanium, oh wow, ranta dung. That sounds like something out of Star Wars. Recycled material composites, stellarin, sunset berries, dolomine, hadanite. Wow, party favors, Merrick gem, copian horn, neograph, iridium, famelin, glasscott, torite, lindenium. Interesting. No, so I don't. Take a drink here. Dab will do you, man. A dab will do you. While I'm here, I'm going to pick up some FS9 ammo. Pick up some ammo while I'm here. Some FS9 ammo. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong alley. Wrong place, wrong place.
Hi.
Wait a minute. Hold on now. It's been a minute since I've been in Area 18. Hold up. It's back this way. I'm starting to forget, man, Area 18. It's like used to be my stomping ground. Come on now.
Hi.
Binocular rangefinder. Okay, let's see here. Need some munitions, man. That's not it. Let's see. There we go. All right.
Welcome to Iron Wolf Tower, Area 18's premier centre for business development.
All these combinations, man. I love these combinations of the armor and selections by people. It's really cool. It's like your avatar watching, man. People watching. What combinations of armor they're gonna, put together, cobble together to make it their own and give themselves that distinction in the game. Pretty cool. And I long to see where, the capital ships and, you see the lore of Star Trek, and that kind of carries, that aesthetic. If you can, and at some point in the game, as opposed to just, having the Navy uniform, which they give us in flare items, but to have flare items such as like not a directly mock-up of the Star Trek series of the shows, but something of its own based on, hey, I want to go with that color, and then you can offer it as or you give variations. Hey, this is the security, this is, and with crafting, I think crafting will allow you hopefully to do that, to bring that into the gameplay function, like as opposed to armor. What if you're able to craft your uniform a la Star Trek original series, not copying that, but having your flavor and color of your crew and those distinct colors of your crew on multi-crew ships, or that would be really cool, man. I think that's another thing to speak on of making the game your own. Okay, let's see. Crusader. There we go. Retrieving.
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle, please visit us again. Goodbye.
Want your company to be in good company? Our Corp's unique vertically integrated corporate parks offer amenities such as resource sharing and logistical pairing for our rental partners. Inquire today to learn how you can invest in making our Corp your new home.
All right.
Obey all security and customs personnel at all times. Their job is your safety.
Take her back to. Oh wow! I feel the scale of this ship. It's not the biggest ship in the game, of course. But you can feel the scale of it, man. I like that. It's one of my favorite ships. pop up. Headed to the bridge. Take it to the bridge. Dun, 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 dun. All right. All right. Let's fire it up.
You are clear to launch.
Yes. Clear to launch. How beautiful. How beautiful. Whew. I'm typing up that game idea for the flight model chat, as well as playing the game.
Landing gear
Thank
up.
you. And please just
Shields off.
Okay, I typed it up. It's in the game ideas. I'm about to publish it. Should I paste it in the chat? I'm gonna see. This is what I don't know, man. It's trying to look for a solution, right? So I'm going to I'm gonna add it into chat. Why not? What the hell? Adding something to the table. That's all I'm doing. Adding something to the table. Oh, character reach character limit. Hold on. Wow. That's a lot. That was a mouthful, huh? Let's see. I'm gonna try that. Oh shoot. Stop there. Let's try this. Damn, still too much. Oh my gosh. Well, this is gonna touch a lot of nerves. Oh gosh. Okay, that part's done. There we go. That's what I put in the game ideas. Oh snap. Publish. All right. All right. Back onto the mission. essentially what I'm thinking of, what I want, throwing it out there as an idea was basically you have decoupled and you have the coupled mode, and it locks it in to fly a certain way. How about if you, let's say, you utilize decoupled and coupled mode as the solution itself? Maybe the solution was right in front of us all along, as opposed to the nav mode and SCM. Decoupled and coupled mode was always the solution. So what does that mean? You still can utilize it, but it's more of a risk, right? So if you lock it in as coupled, it will maintain a certain speed that will fly the ship like a World War II plane. Atmosphere and in space, it's close, but it has some Newtonian in it, right? But minimal. But when you change it to decoupled, you take the governor off. You take the restrictions of your flight thrusters away. And so it's more of what you see in the Expanse or the arcade game Asteroids. You push forward, it continues to move forward. It's more of that. When you go in the flight mode itself. So it's basically, let me wind back. I'm just tired. Couple and decoupled mode is dynamic now. It is a natural progression, a natural way of flying. More so in, let's say, in space, you maintain a certain speed, it flies like a World War II plane. So that means you have to be at a lower speed. When you bring the speed up, it's more of the Expanse experience. The Newtonian physics will dial more to the right. You slow down, or you set the speed, you set the limiter or the governor to a certain position, it locks you into that coupled mode. You have better maneuverability, right? But if you take the governors off, it's more of you're kind of like that movie Tokyo Drift. The car drifts and you're banking and you're trying to correct. If you go in one direction, you counter that, and the faster you are moving, the more you have to counter with counter force, right? Counter thrusters. That could be a solution because it's already a thing in the game. That's why we see that already. But in Atmosphere, they're bringing in the Maelstrom system, so it's more the way your ship flies is based on the weight, and we're gonna get into crafting and things of that nature. So it's more so it could be easier because of crafting, and your ship will perform a certain way based on the materials that you use. To maybe it's a lighter material that makes you more lighter, more fuel efficient, but the pros and cons of it is you're prone to more damage, right? But you're faster than all get out, right?
Landing gear down.
Go to
Shields on.
let me get some fuel.
Shields off.
So yeah, decoupled and coupled mode could be the new master modes itself. It's already there. So let's say you take decoupled, you're decoupled, then it's gonna fly like the Expanse, like Newtonian physics. You fly that way in Atmosphere. It's predicated on Maelstrom dictating the weight of your ship and how fast it can, and if you have cargo, that's going to be dictated by weight, right? And the hull material of your ship. The lighter, the faster you are. Now, how do you kind of account for that. You have to look at the materials, the possibility of the materials that you bring to the table with crafting, and how it weighs down on a ship, right? And you can't say, well, you can't use this material, you can't use that material. It's trial and error. That's a lot of number crunching as far as programming, but I think that could be a solution to the flight model. Now, I think they talked about the cone or a bubble, or the force that you're utilizing, and how the ship moves. I think the weight of the ship can dictate that. And with Maelstrom, I don't know, it could kind of rectify all of that, possibly. But it's something to think about. Get some fuel. Who knows, man? I just want to offer solutions, man. That's what it's about. Wanting to offer solutions. And it's been looking at us. It's been hiding in plain sight, right?
Landing gear up.
Landing gear ups. Landing gears up. Yeah, maybe coupled and decoupled has been the solution all along. It's right there in plain, it's been hiding in plain sight, right in front of us. And to make it a dynamic in game based upon how you utilize thrusters and where you are as far as the atmosphere, whether you're in atmosphere or out of atmosphere. You're still gonna have that kind of a flight system in atmosphere, but then you have a boxy ship. It's gonna be a brick. You're flying a brick. It should react that way, as opposed to you're flying an arrow. You're gonna have that aerodynamic, obviously, right? Those rules should not change. All right. Making my way. What's up, Finra? What's going on, man? Saturday night. Saturday night. I take it you saw my mini post. I put it in Game Ideas on Spectrum for the flight model. I look at it as, hey, we have coupled and decoupled. It could potentially be the answer to the flight model. You just make it, you're hitting switches with the coupled and decoupled, which I think that's been a staple. It's not a lot of pushback on that because it works. Why not make that more the dynamic aspect of the game? You don't have to hit nav mode. You don't have to hit SCM mode. You hit those governors of decoupled and coupled, and depending on where you're flying, whether it's an atmosphere, gravity involved, or that type of ship, like an Aurora compared to an Arrow, you take off decoupled mode. It's going to fly accordingly. It's going to burn more fuel. One burns more fuel than the other because one's a flying brick as opposed to a paper plane that has aerodynamics. It's easy, right? So you take off decoupled, you take off coupled mode on an Arrow and let it do its thing in atmosphere, right? It saves fuel. It has a perfect lift because of its aerodynamics. But then in space, it switches up. Whereas you're in decoupled mode, it flies similar to the Expanse, but not that hard and strict, but a flavor of it, because you want to put some arcade elements to allow people to handle the ship to some extent. But yeah, it's going to have some of that Expanse style of flying. And let's say you hit the button again to say, I want to be coupled. I want to fly it where there's more control. Now, granted, the risk to that is it's going to stay in a certain speed, because if you don't, if you're in that mode, that's the only way you're going to be able to handle the mini thrusters are going to handle a certain way. There's so much it can handle, so you have to stay at a slower speed to do that. So yeah, I think that solution could have been hiding in plain sight all along with the decoupled and coupled mode. And maybe it's a dynamic mode. The faster you go, it's more Newtonian. The more you the more you don't, or let's say the less thrust that you involve the ship in, it can handle like a World War II style ship. You have more maneuverability. That's the physics of it, right? But then you're not set to saying I have to be in the button mode. You don't have anything on or off. You just let the ship be natural in space, and you fly it at a certain speed, right? You fly it at a certain speed, it's going to handle a certain way. You take those governors off and you floor it, it's going to fly more like the Expanse, right? So you get a little dynamic of both flavors in real time. If they can pull that off, that would be great. But also factor in the Maelstrom system that will also dictate how fast or how slow the ship should be based upon mass and the mass that you have stored on your ship. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to throw out solutions here. We haven't heard anything. Only thing we know, FINRA, is there is an NDA. There's a small elite group who knows the flight model that are helping with it, but you know what the funny thing about the flight model was? I was watching one of the streamers. They go, is it Mako? He introduces all the old video footage of stuff, and happened to catch Chris Roberts and Richard Tyra talking about, of all things, the flight model, and that's direct. It's every people look at the flight model team and say, "You guys change it," and they're like, you're wondering why they're resistant to that. If you go back to the video and listen to that one CitizenCon where it was all video, and it was the one where it showed the feature of your avatar was in zero gravity. You're at the Asiato station, and he was walking with his hands with the zero gravity. We still waiting on that, and then you push off, and you're moving in a constant rate of speed, right? You remember that one? It was Richard Tyra and Chris Roberts was sitting there in front of Jarrett, and they were talking, and it was coming right out of Chris's mouth. Go back to the video where he said, you hit a button, you need to go someplace, you need to explore. You hit a button, and then it goes into this mode. You hit another button, it goes into the SCM mode. And he specifically mentioned Yogi was working on that. So it's coming directly from Chris to Yogi, and you're wondering, hey man, Yogi, what is he doing? It's not Yogi. This is Chris's idea. He's following it to the letter. So no, this is not on Yogi. This is directly on Chris. Chris, yeah. If you're out there, man, look at that game idea, or try to at least look at leveraging a dynamic decoupled and coupled mode while you're flying. The faster you go, the more Newtonian is added. Give it a little arcade flavor, but then the slower you are, the more maneuverable the ship is, and more controlled you're in. The more control you have if you stay at a certain speed. Now, if you lock in decoupled or coupled mode, it locks in that flight maneuverability style, right? So you're locked into a certain speed with decoupled mode. You want to be able to maneuver that ship like a World War II plane. You go coupled, and it's going to go at a certain speed. You can punch it all you want, but you're restricted to that certain speed, right? Because it gives you that maneuverability. You unlock it, you decouple it. Now you're flying like the Expanse. You're flying as fast as all get out. But the risk is you can lose. You're going to be like Tokyo Drift with your ship, right? Just like the Expanse, just like the classic game Asteroids. Why not? Why not give it a shot? Because we're still here waiting for something concrete so we can move on. What are we doing here? Yeah, and it should be, again, Femra, I agree, but the solution could be right in our faces. And I think that was a brilliant thing with the coupled and decoupled mode in the game. That's the solution. And then the harder you punch it, the more it's harder for you to, keep that control. Oh shit, like that. Like that. I'm at Levski though. That's where I needed to be. Yeah, I think we need to move on, Femra. We got to get this thing done, man. That was a quick way to get back to Levski. Damn good quick way. Might keep doing that for a bit. Make a claim on this bad boy. But yeah, the state of the game. So I mean, it's all right. I think it's an opinion. It's not a fact. I think my experience is not bad. I'd see the optimizations, but also I'm using an updated version of NVIDIA. Smooth motion is enabled again, so that helps a lot. I'm utilizing the DLSS with NVIDIA, so yeah, not bad. But I'm seeing some anomalies here and there. but not bad. I think they're setting it up so that they don't have too much in the game for right now. So, see, look at that T-pose in his back. You walk near them, then they wouldn't want to react like the new T-pose. They go from old T-pose, old school T-pose to the new T-pose, the dynamic T-pose. There's your old school T-pose. Now it's gonna go into dynamic T-pose. Yeah, there it is. They're in dynamic T-pose now. Dynamic T-pose. Check out his outfit, her outfit. Make this claim on my shit. Up, dynamic T-pose. Going from TP.
Welcome to the C0ff vehicle retrieval system.
Uh-oh, I'm getting the call. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. I'm going to call it. I'm getting the call here. I will see y'all in a bit. I'm out. I'm Kimmy65. Oh,
What's
7.
going on, buddy?
You go to.
Guess what I'm doing
I'm
tomorrow?
in trouble. What's that?
I'm getting baptized.
Man, look at you. Brother, you
1%
growing,
every
man.
day, buddy.
You're growing. You're growing,